Welcome to the Roundtable. I light Airbus Drive to collaborate with startup to bring innovation to market. I will like to introduce our participants, starting with Jan Barbeau. You're the Chief Innovation Officer at Airbus. Elsa Keita, you are the Chief of Airbus Venture. And Bruno Gutier, you are the head of BizLab, Airbus BizLab. You'll explain what this very phony name means for Airbus. And the three companies participating, which are Eric Basis, CEO of Cadre, Jacques Hussler, CEO of Sigfox in Toulouse, from Toulouse, and George Palikaras, you are the president of Lambda Guard, right? And all of you are working for Airbus. To start, I'd like to ask the question to Jan Barbeau. Last year, Fabrice Bregier, the head of Airbus, created the corporate innovation team under your leadership. This team support and challenge innovation at all levels and help ensure that Airbus brings fastly the most valuable innovation onto the market. Can you give us more details about this strategy developed by Airbus?
Yes, in a few words, Airbus is known for being innovative, and we have built our success over the last 4 decades on innovation, on permanently bringing to the market new products with a lot of innovation in it. But I remember when I was young, I was working on the 320, young engineer with an Airbus, and at that time we were dreaming of selling 600 A320s. Now we have an order backlog of more than 10,500, something like that. So times have changed. We are producing every year, we are delivering every year what we were dreaming of selling 30 years ago. And so the air transportation is a fast-growing industry. There are new entrants, and we need to be always at the edge in the domain of innovation because the competition is becoming fierce. So this is one element of the context. The second element of the context is the fact that there are a lot of domains where the innovation in technology does not come anymore from the defense or aeronautic sector, which was the case in the 60s, in the 70s. Now the innovations are coming from consumer goods industry, from telecommunication and so on. So we need to be more agile in capturing all those technologies that are developed in other industrial sectors. So this is why, as part of our innovation effort in the change of culture we have today, we are trying to push within Airbus. We are more focusing on what may come from other industrial sectors. And in particular, we have a specific attention to SMEs and startups, because in this domain of information technologies and so on, in electronics, things are moving fast thanks to those small companies, those startups. They are very close to the universities, so they are permanently at the edge of the technologies, and they can really push to us a lot of new things that we need to adopt very rapidly.
To make a long story short, I could say that it's a wide open innovation strategy, right?
Yes, absolutely. So we can refer to open innovation, but it has to be very much structured to make sure that when we capture something to the outside, we have done anything we can inside to establish the connection.
Mm-hmm. Now, Eric Basis, Jacques Hussler, and George Palikaras, I would like you to introduce your company, because we all know Airbus, but don't be offended, but we don't really know your companies very much, except Sigfox, which is very well known in Toulouse. Eric Basis to start. Okay. Who are you? What are you doing?
Okay, so I'm the CEO of Cadre. So Cadre is a company designing processors. So what do? Is actually we invented a new architecture which allows to have processor running a huge amount of calculation with very low power consumption. So of course that's very interesting for a lot of applications. Aerospace is one of them, but we've got also customers in the network industry, in the video industry. Basically any application demanding a lot of calculation and with very extreme demands in terms of power consumption and timing. So we're based in Grenoble, and we are about 60 people.
Why not in Toulouse?
In Toulouse because we are working with Airbus, of course, and we are very glad of what we do with them.
Okay, Jack Hesser for Sigfox.
Yes, thank you. Well, Sigfox, as you mentioned, is a Toulouse company created in 2009.
A worldwide Toulouse company.
Worldwide, right now, we're trying to develop as quick as possible. As some of you may know, we develop a cellular network dedicated to the Internet of Things. The Internet of Things, we're talking about like 50 billions or more devices to be connected in its 5 to 6 years. So if we get a share of this, we would be happy.
Yeah.
And what we do is clearly develop...
Even a little share.
Yeah, right, even a little share. And what we do is clearly develop a cellular network. You could imagine like a GSM network, but we're using our own technology, our own radio technology with all the advantages we may be talking later.
And you, George?
Thank you. LambdaGuard is out of Canada. We have a second office in London, and we are a nano-composites company. Develops state-of-the-art thin films that can potentially protect against light sources, such as lasers.
Lasers.
That are
You're talking about the lasers attack from people on the ground, right?
Absolutely right. But it's not just people on the ground. There's many cases, people within flights and across flights, taxiing, in all phases of flight. And our state-of-the-art technology solves that problem without impacting the visual response and the visual aspects from within the pilot, and without blocking the field of view of the pilot.
Thank you. Jan Barbo, we had 3 examples of small companies already working with you or wishing to work with Airbus. I would like you to be a bit more precise on the devices, services and products that Airbus is actually seeking access to bright ideas for innovation companies, both in and out the aircraft ecosystem. To be very concrete.
To be very concrete, I mean, we have 3 different examples here.
Yeah.
One is addressing, and George already addressed it, a safety issue that is protecting the pilots in some phases of the flight against voluntary or non-voluntary laser strikes. So it's something which is becoming important. So there is no real danger for the flight, but it's something which is really painful for the pilots. So in that case, we are looking for, well, the idea is to adapt a technology which has been developed for something else to our specific need, and to develop a thin film that can be easily applied to our screens in the cockpit. In the case of Sigfox, you understand that it's about low-cost communication system that can be used in, I will not enter into the details of the applications, but there are some ground applications that we can develop around the aircraft to have a connection between the aircraft and the airline when the aircraft is on ground. And in the case of cadre, it will be more difficult in terms of development, because here we are touching the avionics of the aircraft, but here we are speaking about something which will be a revolution in terms of avionics system, in terms of information systems. And we are very happy. So there are 3 different cases, obviously, with 3 different roadmaps in terms of time to market. But the 3 examples are corresponding to a thing that we want to push in the next 5 years maximum. So in some cases it will be closer to 2 years, but at the maximum it's about introducing something in less than 5 years.
Thank you. You made it very clear. Elsa Keita, I would like you to tell us more about the startup program you're working on.
Okay, so it's a brand new program to start with, and the main mission of the program is to create valuable collaboration between Airbus and startup within the aeronautics environment, but also with startup outside the aeronautic environment. This is something key for us. And the objective of the program is to be able to accelerate growth and mutual growth, so for Airbus and also for the startup. Why do we use the word program? Because could be sounds a bit strange. We like to convey the idea behind the program that it's a journey. Airbus is embarking the startup in a journey, hopefully a seamless journey. And the idea is really to, during this journey, Airbus Venture and Airbus Biz Lab are going to actually work closely with the startup to create mutual business opportunities, but more than that, to really remove some of the roadblocks that can really kill a collaboration between a small company and a big group like us. Okay, and so this program is actually combines, the interaction of two initiatives, which are Airbus Venture and Airbus Biz Lab.
Yeah, that's for the Airbus startup program. And now, can you describe what's Airbus Ventures?
Yeah, so if we talk about Airbus Venture, I would say that Airbus Venture is really the entry door for a startup to connect to Airbus and to build successful collaboration.
You're talking about these many startups that never thought of knocking on Airbus door, right?
Yes, exactly. We found through our experience and the discussion that we have with this ecosystem is that there are multiple entry doors, and they never find the right one. So it's a loss of time. It's very time consuming. So so it's the entry door, and what actually the program is going to do is that it's going, as I said, to connect the startup to an internal customer. Then it's going to secure the buy-in by embarking early on an internal champion and also the experts. This is key, the buy-in from the start. And having done that, it's going to set up a rationale for the collaboration, so through the venturing approach that we have developed. So it's really about a win-win collaboration. And it's also about shifting from R&D approach to innovation approach. So the goal is to be able to reduce time to market, which is going to bring some visibility to the startup in terms of business potential. So that's what Airbus Venture does. On top of that, we also have the capacity to leverage, our capacity to invest. We can take minority equity stake. This is not something we do all the time. But
you did it already?
We did it. Yeah. Yes, we did. Well, the program is pretty new, okay? So we have some case ongoing. We did it in the past. We have an experience with startup which does not start from this program, actually. We are capitalizing from the last experience we had, and hence why now we have this setup in place. So for me, I would say three key success factors for Airbus Venture. One is that the collaboration is going to be under the umbrella and the leadership of one entity during the program. So this is, really key to ensure consistency of approach. The second thing is that it's closely linked to the business. And the third point, which is also something quite important for us, is that we have decided to scout outside our environment. We think that there is a lot of potential outside aeronautics, and we would like to bring those innovations in aeronautics.
Okay, Eric, Jack, and George, do you share the view of Elsa? You can be impolite.
Can I start? So definitely for us, working with Airbus was massively facilitated by Elsa and her team. The point of having only one point of contact is definitely critical. I mean, interacting with a company like Airbus, the size of Airbus, actually make it extremely time-consuming for a small company like us. So Elsa has been definitely a good promoter for us. And she also put us in touch with the proper teams, with the proper experts, and made it possible for us to today have a very strong collaboration in place with Airbus and team.
Mm-hmm. Jack? Or Jacques?
Jacques.
Not Jack.
Yes, clearly we are happy to collaborate with Airbus.
It made it easier to work with Airbus?
Easier than what?
what you could expect.
Well, you know, I think that we are accustomed to interface with rather big companies in our model, since our network and antennas are being deployed with big companies. So this was not really an issue. The interesting point is to share the visions and as Elsa mentioned, the mutual improvement or the mutual agreement that we may have is of most importance. Yeah.
George, did it make it easier to work that way with Airbus?
I guess I have to put it in perspective. So SMEs, any small startup or early stage company has a huge roadblock ahead, which is how do you get your innovation in front of the right person within a big company? And Elsa's team, Jan Barbeau and Bruno Gutierrez, break that ice within the Airbus. They link us directly ahead to the right people. We get our chance and we get that chance. If we do well, and Airbus has the best probably engineers in the world in aerospace engineering, if we do our job, we prove that we have the potential, that opens up the gate for collaboration.
George, in terms of business and in terms also of culture, what are the benefits of working with Airbus for small companies like yours?
That's a great question, and I can list so many benefits that we probably don't have time, but I think if I think of three.
That's something that Jan and Elsa were very pleased to hear.
I would think three are the main benefits. One is the communication link. So we have access to a ton of resources, right available next to the call.
That's what.
That's right. Number two is the fact that they can help us speed our innovation process to get to market. Just to again, perspective. Our product would take 10 years to get to the market. With the support from Airbus, we can take it probably in the next 2 to 3 years. We'll have this on the market.
Well, you're saying 2-3 years instead of 10, right?
That's right. If we did it alone, and that's the reality of a product in aerospace. And I'd say the third thing is the fact that they're such a great partner. And without their support, and I want to thank everybody here, that we wouldn't be where we are today. And you know, the road ahead is very steep, but it adds a little bit of confidence in our team back in Canada that we have Airbus to support us.
Jack, same question?
Yes, I think that I fully support what George just mentioned, and the fact of working with Airbus is a huge contribution to the ecosystem, so people understanding that. On the other side, we can try to apply our technology, which was not definitely initially thought for aerospace or aircraft, to a totally different environment, which is also the interest of Airbus, okay, implementing things that were not seen from the beginning. So clearly we anticipate a huge return on investment, if I may.
Just to make it clear, you worked for a very big company, which was Hewlett-Packard, right?
Yeah, that's correct, but it used to be a long time ago.
Okay.
Eric, to add one point, which is pretty obvious in our case, is that so we are very pleased to work with Airbus today, because Airbus may be our customer later on. Yeah. So working hand in hand with your future customer is the best way to build the best product on the marketplace. And working with a leader of the aerospace is for us extremely important, because that means that we sure our product will fit with the market.
Jan and Elsa, if you have...
No, I just wanted to... We had a discussion just before, and George was saying a point which he did not say again. It's about helping the startup to focus on a concrete case. So when you speak about acceleration, 10 years, going from 10 years to 3 years, it's because we are helping you to focus on something which is very concrete, which will have a market, and this is what we can bring as well. So we are seeing the collaboration with startups as a way to accelerate our own innovation process, but I'm very happy to see that it's also acceleration for you, because we are offering you a real market target, and we are on both sides concentrating our resources on something which is very concrete and has a market value.
Feel free to ask questions to Jan and Elsa and Bruno if you have some questions. Elsa, just...
I'm very pleased to hear those answers.
Maybe they don't dare to say things that you might like to hear.
I'm not sure, but still, we've been talking about your experience with Airbus, and again, if we are building the learning curve, as I said, it's a new program, so I'm sure that we can improve. And anything we can improve, is really welcome. But I'm pleased to hear that what we're doing makes sense for a startup like startup companies like you, like the one you manage, would be a better word.
Okay, Bruno Gutiérrez, you are in charge of Airbus Biz Lab. What does mean Biz Lab? In Toulouse, you would say Quesaco.
Nothing to do with the French word biz, obviously. I'm not so sure that I will be able to explain what is the role of the Biz Lab, as well as George did it before. Here we are talking about business acceleration. We are talking about a way to implement, to access markets as quick as possible. In that respect, the Biz Lab has two different aspects. The very first one is Biz Lab as a facility.
Yeah.
We have created a platform of 700 square meters nearby our site in order to host startups. We want to create, thanks to this platform, a kind of immersive and collaborative place where startups start to exchange. And I can say a few words about what's happened during the launch. So we start, in a way, this kind of exchange because Georges just discovered the technology of cadre and was interesting. So that's exactly this type of exchange, share that we want to promote. But not only because what makes the difference with the Airbus Biz Lab compared to the standard corporate accelerator is that in the same place we will host as well internal Airbus team working in an innovative project. The idea is to create a kind of melting pot between entrepreneur and entrepreneur, and we hope that one will inspire another. So that's the first aspect of the Biz Lab. The second one is what we call the acceleration program. And this has been highlighted by Elsa and Jan. We are working in a very complex environment. And
with loads of regulations.
A lot of regulation, a lot of investment, if you want, particularly if you want to start a prototype, to test, which is quite difficult for a startup to set up. So what we are doing is to provide a set of services, a set of expertise, a wide range of expertise, technical, finance, legal, marketing, in order to let the starter to be focused on his goal, which is to implement as quick as possible and to access as quick as possible to the market with their innovation. That's what we provide. On top of that, we can give them some additional access to markets thanks to our wide network of corporate accelerators. We've got partnership with other corporate accelerators, so it's an opportunity for them to access to new markets.
George, Jack, and Eric, how do you feel regarding this approach?
I personally feel that the time to market is something which becomes key and key. I mean, even for Airbus, I'm sure, I am not familiar with the aircraft and aerospace, but I'm sure, having worked in large companies, this is a key item. And I think that for startups, it's more than a key item. If you do not have the appropriate time to market, you're done. So the idea is that working together and having people, cross-fertilize under this aspect is something which is absolutely key. And I think that the initiative that Airbus is taking is absolutely good because that's the real way to share views between people that have different mindsets. And this was the discussion we had later on.
Eric?
Yes, I think in our case, acceleration means a lot because we will be embedded in planes. And so the usual standard process is perhaps taking something like 15 to 20 years. So that's something, of course, we cannot follow.
Yeah,
so
cannot
thanks to
afford
this
that.
acceleration program, the goal is to have our chips embedded in planes as early as in 5 years, which is extremely accelerated.
4 or 5 years.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you can see the value brought by this program and how it speeds the overall process.
George?
I just wanted to mention one thing that I think stands out for me, which is the collective brain power. So as this accelerator gets bigger and bigger, I think it's going to be an exponential increase in the capacity and the brain power that is going to be collaborating all together and forging those new partnerships in an ecosystem that Airbus is right now putting together around the world. And I know the plan, it's for expanding this accelerator program in different countries, different territories. So I can see this is a huge benefit to Airbus, but it's an unbelievable asset to any startup, having that extended team of advisors and other fellow entrepreneurs to share problems and ideas.
Bruno?
That's typically the essence.
They're going to give you more brain?
Well, we've got some
extended brain.
We've got some brain in Airbus as well. What is important is to connect the brains, one with another. That's what we were talking about, George. And I think that's the essence of innovation. There is no innovation alone. There is innovation if you are able to share your experience, your lessons, what you learn with the others. And to complete what you just said, we will have this Biz Lab in Toulouse, but the idea is typically to have extension in all our Airbus sites to create this network and to dynamize, energize our innovative network.
Jan, we heard many interesting things from Airbus and also from the small companies, but how do you see the future of the collaboration of Airbus with all these startups throughout the world?
Well, no, it's clear that we are starting here because the headquarters of Airbus are in Toulouse, so it's largely more convenient for us. We are already having in mind to develop rapidly also something in Hamburg, because Hamburg is another important site. But the target, and we have also the view of using some of our sites abroad. So we are pretty well connected to our colleagues in India, in Bangalore, to recreate locally, not the complete story, but to use those different places to scout the idea. So by chance we could get a company in Canada, but we need, tomorrow it should not be by chance, it has to be organized. So we need to really in the next months focus on how can we improve this scouting capability. Now with regard to the next step and how it will evolve, the key point is that, and a key message is we are serious. So either we don't go, but if we go, we want to go until the end. So obviously there are, we are in a domain where there is uncertainty. We may fail in demonstrating what we want to demonstrate. But at least we want to make sure that if we are successful in the demonstration of the feasibility, the technology will be implemented on the aircraft, in the shop, and so on. So, and this is for me something which is important. It's not about scouting ideas. It's not about identifying. No, it's about securing the complete journey, as Elsa was saying, right from the beginning to the end. And if we commit at a point, and this is what we did with the 3 companies here, our commitment is to go until the implementation on the aircraft as rapidly as possible. Obviously, we do not master everything. In some cases, we are also depending on certification aspect. You mentioned the regulations which are a specificity to our business, which are constrained. And at the same time, it's a driver. Innovation fits well with constraint, and it helps in finding better solutions. So this is my main message. Again, I'm very happy to see that what we are trying to do is well perceived and well and correctly perceived. I think you really caught it. And obviously, it's encouraging us to continue. And ICS was a good place for us to communicate on that, because it's about connecting. So you know that I was a member of the scientific committee, and the key point, and this is why we are participating to the ICS, it's about connecting industrial sectors which have a priori nothing in common. I mean, the medical aspect, smart city, future factory, and these are different things, but we see, and this is what is of interest for us, we see that there are good ideas, good technologies that can be developed in one sector and then deployed in another sector, and this is what we are looking at. So you were speaking about a kind of collective brain. This is what it is about, yes.
Well, Elsa said at the beginning of this roundtable that you were going on a long journey, so I wish you all a long and very sunny trip on an Airbus plane related to the collaboration between the startup and Airbus. Thank you very much. Bye.
Thank you.